Hi, these tasty little morsels are Tropical Delight pineapple coconut bars. Fluffy pineapple topping and a chewy coconut base. So when you bite into it, you're hit with the fluffy pineapple on top and then the satisfying chew of the coconut underneath. So let's go make some in the kitchen right now, because really, most of this is done in a food processor. Pop them in the oven, sit back, wait for your little treats to come out of the oven. Okay, so the Tropical Delight pineapple coconut bars are made in 2 layers, and we're going to make the first layer right now. So what we have here for the first layer, we have 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar. I'm using my favorite, the unrefined cane sugar, but you could just use white sugar is okay too. 1 cup of shredded coconut, a half a cup of butter, cold and cut into 1/2 inch or 12 millimeter cubes, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So over here, we have the large food processor. We're going to toss all the ingredients in here. Now what we want to do is we're going to get all that baking soda in there. We're going to process this until our mixture becomes like a kind of a coarse meal. I'll show you that in a minute here after this process is done. So basically just going to pulse, pulse, pulse. Okay, so looking at this right now, I'm just going to grab some out with a fork. You can see that the butter has been all chopped up. Just put that into a small, you see that, see it's just basically coarse meal now. If anything, it looks like the brown sugar. So that's perfect. What I have here is a 9x9 cake pan. It's been buttered and then dusted with icing sugar. I just kind of put a little icing sugar in there and then bash it around until it dusts all the surfaces. So what we're going to do is we're going to dump this into there. And then I like to use just a regular fork to just going to push this around, and we're going to tamp it down. First of all, we want to make sure we kind of even across. And then just using the fork, kind of tamp the mixture down into place. Now it's okay if you have like a little bit of loose mixture in here, that's fine. What we want is the main part tamped down good and solid, and basically mainly even across. It'll be a little higher in some places, a little lower in others. Not going to matter that much. Okay, so that's basically tamped down and ready to go. Now our oven is preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. This is going to go in the oven for exactly 12 minutes. So let's pop it in the oven and then come back. Okay, so now, while that's baking in the oven, going to prepare the second layer. And what we have here is the pineapple, which is 8 slices of pineapple. It comes in one of those medium-sized pineapple cans. What we're going to do with them is just toss them in the food processor. You notice I didn't even clean that food processor out. Just made sure there's no excess flour and stuff in there, but a little bit really isn't going to make any difference. So just toss those in there. We're going to shred those up a bit. Before we do that, let's go over the other ingredients. What we have here is 3/4 cup of flour, 3/4 cup of sugar. Notice this time I'm not using my favorite unrefined cane sugar. That just discolors the topping too much. So white sugar, 3/4 cup. 1/2 cup of butter at room temperature, so it's going to be easier to cream. And 2 eggs, also been sitting out at room temperature for a while. So first, let's process our pineapple. Basically what this is kind of like a coarse chop. So we're just going to pulse it a few times. Alright, so if we look at that, you can see it's just coarsely chopped up. Perfect. Kind of a pineapple pulp. Let's just set that aside for right now. So, what we're going to do right now is we're going to cream the butter in a large bowl. So let's throw that in there. And just give it a good creaming. Okay, now we see the butter's creamed. Let's cream the sugar into the butter. Alright, what we want to do whenever we're creaming sugar in the butter, we want to cream the sugar until it's incorporated into the butter. We're forcing it into the butter, which is forcing little tiny air holes in the butter, little air pockets. That's what helps things to rise when you're baking them. This is why you can't like melt the butter or heat it up too much. You just want it where it's still creamable and yet kind of solid, so that you get these little air pockets forming in the butter from the sugar, and then you get good rise and good lift on your baking goods. Okay, that is basically done there. Now, get that off, because now we're going to use the electric mixer. Okay, using our mixer, we're going to add 1 egg at a time. And because we want to froth this up, we beat each egg for about half a minute after you add it in. So 1 egg goes in, hit it with the mixer, and now we're going to do that for about half a minute. Well, that's 1 egg done for half a minute. You can see how it's gone kind of pale yellow. That's really, frothing up the egg and just giving us what we want. We're going to want that frothy topping. So let's add in our second egg. And again, half a minute. All right. That is nice and frothy. When it gets that light yellow, that's you hit the frothiness. So now we're going to mix in the flour about 1/3 at a time. So mix that in until it's mixed in well. All right, then we're going to add about another 1/3. Mix that again. And the final 1/3. And again, just mix it until it's all incorporated. Alright, now we're getting a nice batter. And now, in goes the pineapple. Let's just get that all in there. Oh, it's going to be delicious. Now, mix the pineapple in. Again, we want to combine this well. Get it all mixed in. Now look over, I see that our base layer is just about ready. So as soon as that comes out of the oven, we're going to spread this on top. Alright, so that's been baking for 12 minutes. And now, just going to spoon that topping, pour it on top here. And now just smooth it across and even it out. Okay, that's going to go back into that same 350 degree, 180 degrees Celsius oven for 40 to 45 minutes. What we're going to do is in 40 minutes, we're going to give it the toothpick or skewer test. If it comes out nice and clean, it's ready. So let's come back and check this in 40 minutes. All right, that's been in the oven for 40 minutes. It is beautifully golden on top. Probably ready, but we're going to give it a test. We're going to run a skewer into the middle. It came out clean. Perfect. This is ready to go. So what we're going to do now, I have here a little bit of icing sugar in a sifter. Just going to sprinkle a little bit of icing sugar on top of here before it cools, and then we're going to let it cool down. This way it's going to bond into there a little bit. It's going to just look really nice. Alright, that's about good right there. Okay, so you let that cool. Once it's cooled, I like to use my favorite tool, which is my my little icing tool for icing cakes and stuff. This is fantastic for cutting these too. If you use a knife, you tend to cut into the coating in your pan, whereas this will ride nicely, safely on there, and it's nice and thin. Does a good cutting job. All right, so enjoy Tropical Light pineapple coconut bars. They are delicious and, as you can see, pretty easy to make. Most of the time is spent in the oven. Now, if you go to the link appearing on the screen, you can get the free printable recipe on our website. You'll also find a real easy to follow along recipe infographic, which visually shows you steps in making these delicious Tropical Delight pineapple coconut bars. So, go print out the recipe, have fun making and eating these, and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.